You're listening to Real Talk with Toya, Lex, and Chris. This is a podcast where we take the time to reflect, embrace our past, talk about life, or just sit back and laugh. You'll get a front row seat of what it's really like to be in our group chat. Let's start the show. Welcome to another episode of Real Talk with Toya, Lex, and Chris. I'm Toya.
I'm Alexis.
And Kristen is out tonight, but we do have a special guest. We have Amber that's going to fill in a little bit for Kristen tonight and have a good old chat. So what are we talking about tonight, Alexis?
Okay, we're going to continue our conversation on dating, and we're going to continue it from dating from a parent perspective. So Amber's going to give us some details on how dating has been for her, being a single mom of 2 boys, but I'll let her tell you all a little bit about herself, and then we will dive right in. So Amber, just give us a little introduction.
Oh, wait, before Amber starts, let's do our this is that, or would you rather, just to kind of start the conversation. So Amber, each week we do a would you rather question. So would you like to pick a number between 1 and 100?
59.
59?
Mm-hmm. Oh, shoot.
59.
I'm glad you didn't say 69.
Girl, that would have been interesting.
Okay, so number 59 says, would you rather end every phone call with I love you or accidentally call your partner the wrong name during a fight?
I end every call with I love you.
I
don't care who it is. If it's the telemarketer, I love you.
I love you.
You might be right. That's easier to deal with. Yes. I've done it once. You call the ex the wrong name. It doesn't end well.
That's funny. Yeah, I agree. I'm going to definitely end with I love you. And it's so crazy because I get so used to saying I love you when I end phone calls. So when I'm at work, I'll be almost about to say it like, no, wrong person.
They're going to think you're weird.
I know. I'm like, yeah. Definitely don't want to do that.
I'm so touched. You probably get good feedback. So that lady I was talking to, she said I loved you, and I needed to hear that today.
Yeah.
She made my day.
Yes. So Amber, you can go ahead and tell us a little bit about you, how many kids, and all that good stuff.
All right. Well, I'm Amber. I am 34. I have twin boys. They are 3, and they are wonderful. What do you want to know? Let's see. I have just started entering the dating scene as a single mother, so it has been entertaining, to say the least.
I'm sure it has. Yes.
So yeah, I mean, what else you guys want to know? I got stories. I got you.
Okay. So first of all, what is your definition of dating? What do you consider dating?
Right now, I consider dating just, spending time with a person that makes me happy, makes me smile, makes me feel comfortable. I go back and forth about whether or not I want something that, I guess, heavy. But right now I'm in a space where I just want to have fun. So I'm not looking for too much. I just want to enjoy my time with someone that makes me happy right now. That's it. I think
so do you consider dating and talking the same thing? Like
no, absolutely not.
Okay.
Because talking means, multiple people are involved, I feel. But dating is kind of exclusive. I feel it should be exclusive. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
We had a good old conversation about that.
It's so hard. I mean, it's just like, are we talking or are we dating?
Yeah. That's like a weird conversation to even have. I typically wait for the guy that, start that. So are we dating now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like
So your definition of dating is exclusively. So you don't
So you know how people say you're dating like multiple people? That's not your definition of dating, or is it?
No,
No. Okay.
no, that's not my
your
definition.
definition
Dating to
is
me
like,
is just
you
one
my
person.
boo.
We're committed. Okay.
That's my baby. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my baby. Now, if we're talking, that means, I can go out with Harry and Tom and,
Okay.
Okay.
it is what it is,
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
It does
makes
make
sense.
sense. So what made you
Mhm.
decide to start back dating?
Oh, well, I don't know. I kind of like dipped my toe in it and then I like took my toe back. Because at first I just wanted to make sure I was okay mentally in the space to even want to put myself out there. So that's why I did like a little test. But I did a little healing first, and then my kids started spending more time outside of the house. They're older, getting more independent. So I felt like it was okay for me to kind of venture out and actually start dating and spending my time with someone that I like. So it took me 2 years, 2.5 years to come to that, but I did it in my own time.
Yeah. I like that though. I think you should definitely heal before dating. Like I don't like, or I'm not gonna say I don't like, it makes me feel a type of way in a sense when like people jump out of relationships and then they just jump into another relationship, like, because to me you're not like getting the healing that you need, and then you carry on those same problems to your next relationship. And I mean, not to say that once you're like found healing, like some of those issues, trust issues and things like that won't come up in the next relationship. But I don't like when people jump into, like, I'm all about somebody getting their healing before they're going into the next relationship. And I don't like when people do that, and although like the relationship could technically be over before you actually end it or announce that it ended, it's still one of those things, like, I don't like, because you're still in the I guess like your daily moods and stuff is still with that person. Like, you could be, over that person or whatever to a certain degree, but I feel like if they're still in your presence, it's still like a little healing that needs to be done, even if, you kind of been over that relationship for a while. Still think there is some kind of healing that still needs to be done. So I'm always like, get a little bit of healing before you just jump into another relationship, because then that's just going to be more problems on top of the issues that y'all carry.
Repeating the same behavior.
So with that,
when you have kids, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was just about to piggyback off what Chloe said. So no.
Oh, but basically, we're like having like kids, because you still see the other parent all the time, so it brings up memories. So you want to get to a point where both of you guys are in a good place, because that kind of helps with the healing process as well, right? So then y'all both know where y'all stand. So it's a little bit easier to put yourself out there and date once you're in a good space with your past relationship, as well as going through the healing process too. So that's my input.
Yeah. Kind of do those things simultaneously. I mean, you don't have a choice, when you have kids, like, you don't have a choice but to heal simultaneously. It's not like, you can't just be like, well, I ain't gonna let you see your child or whatever. I mean, although people do, I know y'all are not those type of people. So it's kind of like, no, like, I want my child to, have their other parent in their lives, because it's not fair, So yeah, you have to do that healing and all that at the same time. You're trying to like not like that person. It's like,
I think it's so funny that we're sitting here talking about that, because I think I'm like in that stage of I got through the anger. Now we're in a medium, trying to get to that really good place, and it's almost like I think I was trying to do like what you were saying earlier, Toya. Like, okay, let me hurry up and see what else is. But then I'm like, what am I doing? I know I'm not ready. I think it's just me trying to fill that void and hurry up and do it. And it's just, God has a way of like what Amber saying, she dipped her toe out there. I'm like, nah.
Yeah. You think, like, in your mind, you think that'll be the easiest way for you to like get over that person by like getting with somebody else, but I don't think it is. I personally don't think it is. I know
I think that's when you end up making even more regrets and mistakes when you do that. Now you're playing with your heart and your time even the more.
Exactly.
And that's scary. especially when you're 34.
So when I dipped my toe in, I could. Oh no! When I dipped my toe in, I felt like I could see some of my old behaviors popping up from my past. So I was like, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Let me go back and go back and work on myself. But it took me going through the healing process to know that I wasn't all the way healed.
Yeah, you had to stick your toe out there to even see like, oh, wait a minute, nope, this ain't it. Let me go back and revamp a little bit. Well, that's good because when you have an active co-parenting relationship, that has to happen because seeing that person, knowing what y'all have been through can be triggering. Like, oh my God. And then when you get to that point, you're just like, hey, and keep it moving. You're like, oh, wait a minute. You can measure yourself at that point. Like, oh, I done made a little bit of progress. And even hearing certain news from them, like, you're like, oh, and it don't bother you. Again, that's a measuring stick for you. Yeah. So I know that has to be, I guess when people don't have that active co-parenting, they maybe can do it like that, like just move on and go to the next person.
That's true.
And it be done with, but we will see. Well, that kind of piggybacks, well, not piggybacks, Lord. That kind of leads to what was your learning process? Like, how did you come to figure out what you wanted and what you didn't want in your healing process? And not necessarily, I won't say like focus on the things you didn't want, but what did you realize what you really wanted in the dating world? What were you looking for?
At first I was looking for everything that my ex wasn't. But then I took a step back and thought of myself, like the relationship ended because we both were, we both did our own, like, we both made it bad to the point where we broke up, right? So I knew that I had to change me in order to get what I wanted from my next guy. So now that I'm in that space, I don't focus too much on physical that much. But I have to be attracted to you. I have to be attracted to you. But I kind of go for like mental, making sure he's mentally stable, make sure he doesn't have any bad vibes, comes from a good family, is loving, and it's just respectful. I think number one is respect. I want to meet someone or be with someone that I can respect and he can respect me. That's my number one.
Makes sense. Where do the boys come in at? Where do you measure some of the things you look for there?
That's a tricky one because I haven't met anyone that I would want, that I feel worthy enough to meet my boys. So I'm taking that step by step. I'm gonna be honest, I really don't know. I just know that I want to get it right the first time when it comes to the boys. I don't want to have multiple people. I don't want them meeting multiple people. I want the guy that I'm going to spend my life with. They meet him. He's a good guy. He loves children. He treats my kids like they're his own. He respects my kids, and he also respects my kids' fathers as their father. That's what's important to me when that time comes.
When that time comes. So whenever you meet your person and you feel it, you want that just kind of like be it. So that way, when they do meet your boys, it's like, this is it. We're not making no more uncles and.
Listen, we don't say uncles. That is not our generation.
I can't help it because it's so programmed on TV too. Like,
so what do you call them? What would they?
If you don't get out of a Tyler Perry movie,
not Tyler Perry.
What we call them? This my friend.
Exactly.
It's the friend. It's usually the friend. I can say friend in our generation. You done with uncles. That's all the way back.
I don't know how I would introduce a guy to my boy. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It would be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think right now you probably are safe because they're still a little bit younger.
Yeah.
Just babies, yeah. So they don't understand that part
So
yet.
you can just be at a picnic or not picnic at a park somewhere and casually talk, and they won't think nothing else of it. So let them get some age. Like, wait a minute, who they talking to? My mama.
Yeah, now Luca, I don't know. He be knowing stuff. But yeah, definitely.
Do you have a time frame of when you would introduce them to your children?
Originally, I said a year, and I said because I want to see what their personalities are with each season. Because people change in the summer, winter, fall. So I was like a whole year just to make sure that that's who I want. But right now, I'm just like I'm gonna go with the flow. I'm gonna go with the flow of the relationship. And if I feel comfortable, especially if he have kids too, it's just an agreement that we would have to make together.
That makes sense.
When we're both comfortable.
Them having kids, I think, helps a little bit with that subject because you both want to tread softly in that regard.
Oh, do you so you have kids. So would you require, and I'm assuming that you and your kid's father at this point have a decent co-parenting relationship. So would you require the same thing as a guy coming into your life? Like he has to have a good co-parenting relationship with his, I guess, his child's mom?
Yes,
I didn't think about that thing. I didn't want to say baby mama. I don't like baby mama. The child's mom.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would require it, but I wouldn't want it to affect our relationship. So I would want him to be able to handle that in a way that it doesn't affect us.
Okay, makes sense.
That's fair.
Yeah,
because you don't really know how that other person is. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
exactly.
But I mean, as far as like, of course, he would have to respect her in a way. You know what I'm saying? It would have to like be respectful. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because you never know. I mean, he could very well be, the sole, sole parent.
Yeah, I think it's a red flag too if he talks about his baby. If he talks about his kid's mom in a negative way. Like to me, that's a red flag. Like I don't.
At some point, you should be able to realize I picked this. This is my decision. Okay, let me shoulder whatever feelings that I have, because at the end of the day, how you feel about your kid's parent is a deep reflection of you as well. Like, are you healed? Are you still triggered? And then your kids pick up on that too. Yeah. Like, come on, man, don't do that. And then if you're not in tune with your kids' emotions, you can very well be like, as soon as you start talking about them, you see them go act another kind of way. It's like, what am I doing? Let me bring that in. Right. So I think if you are at this point in dating, if you still don't have that relationship worked out with the other parent, I'm gonna need you to fix that just a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I think you should definitely be able to be cordial. Yeah, I mean, just regardless of whatever it is, like,
especially if they're 12 and 15. Now, look, now if they won, okay, I see y'all still trying to figure out.
Still fresh.
But if your kids can talk back,
teenagers.
If your kids can talk back,
if your kids can drive, and you still ain't. Yeah. So with that said, do you have wean out questions to be like if you're in the talking stage and talking to certain people?
I have learned. Well, do I have questions? Let me see. Not like an outline of questions like number one, let me get this, or number two, let me get this. No, I typically go with the flow of the conversation, but I do like to know ahead of time if you have kids, how many kids you have. You guys are in a good relationship, you and your kids' mother, are y'all in a good co-parenting relationship? I also like to know about family too, like do you have a good relationship with your mom? Because I like to see how you treat other women in this family, because to me that's a red flag if you have negative things to say about your mom and in other women. So, but I like to keep it light and airy for a little while until we get to know each other, and then that's when the hard questions come. But I don't have like a set list. No.
Yeah. So you got any wean out questions? Like that's automatic?
Girl, I got a whole list.
Let me hear them. Maybe I can take some from you. Let me get a notepad and pen. What's your question, girl?
No, I ain't gonna say I have questions for like wean out people. But like Amber said, as far as like how you treat like the other women in like his family. However, y'all, I don't like mama's boys. Like it's it's just because it's like it's that thin line, like to be too much. You know what I'm saying? Like you can just be, it could just be too much, and I don't like too much because like if we make that commitment, like it's me before your mama at this point. You know what I'm saying? And I don't like that.
If they don't have that boundary drawn, like
your mom, I need those boundaries.
Disrupt everything we do.
Yeah,
and you can't put her in a place.
Yeah,
not put her in a place, but if you can't bring that, like I feel like if you don't have that dialogue with your mom, where she can't even recognize she need to bring it in. Yeah. I think I added. I had to add one, and it's a hard one. And I'm still struggling with it because I don't know if it's fair at all, because I feel bad, but I had to add, do you want more kids? And I say that because I know where I'm at in that regard. And I feel like if somebody say, yeah, but I don't know yet, I think right then and there, my mind starts like, do I even want to start this conversation? Like, do I even want to start anything with this person, considering where I'm at with that question? So I had that. That's one of my, like, I got to go ahead and ask this off the bat, because the way my mind is set up right now, it's 98%.
Like a hard no.
I think that's good to have. Although I know, like, depending on the season of life, you know, those things can kind of change. But I mean, if you're just kind of set, like, and it's not like in this season, it's I'm pretty sure I don't want any more kids. It's like, okay, that's definitely one, you know, to ask and wean out, because I mean, what if they want kids?
Exactly.
What if they want a big family, you know?
Exactly. And that's one of those things you can't take lightly at all. Because when you're in your 20s and you don't have children, you're just playing around like, I want 2-3 kids.
Right.
And you have one. What picture did I see when I said this? Like, but no, like, I don't know, some wean out questions, I think you can like slowly throw them in there without it making it seem like it's too, you know, touchy or whatever. It's just like certain things. So have you ever been with a man?
I definitely think those,
you see what I'm saying?
I definitely think those are conversations that need to be had like early on. See, I told y'all, I'm the type, we gonna hit all these big questions.
Toya bring me the meat at the appetizer.
Bring the meat at the appetizer, because I need to know how many days am I gonna waste fooling with you? Like, I don't need to be wasting a whole lot of days. You know what I'm saying? So I need to know all of these questions like up front. Like I need to know. Like I need to know. And then
slide them in there. So when you get your aggression out, do you hit people?
Exactly.
That was my next. That was my next one. Like, have you ever hit a woman? We need to talk about this.
Like, because you know you don't want to be wasting. Like Toya said, how many days am I going to waste?
I don't want to waste a whole bunch of days. Because I mean, honestly, the more you get involved with someone and the more you start spending time with those people, it's harder for you to like separate yourself. And then you start looking over those red flags and kind of like push it to the side. And it's like, no, I need to know that you're like serious about this. You know, can we have these hard conversations?
And I would want to
friendship.
You know?
Exactly. Like, let's have these armpit sweating questions and conversations where you like, I don't want to tell him this. Like, I don't want to. Woo, but how is he going to react to it? And you know, same, but it's like, okay, let's just get it out in the open.
Get it out the way, especially when you have nothing but attraction at that point. We ain't got to go nowhere else after this. It may feel weird, but you know, it's like Toya said, if I start revealing myself to you and getting attached to you emotionally, and then I start asking some of those questions. It's like, oh, wait a minute. But I like you. Look over. And then all that stuff starts to haunt you. Like, what was I thinking? Again, time. Yes, we understand that time is of the essence. But we also know we live in society where we're humans and we're aging. So, I mean, we got some clocks here. Let's not waste our days. Our good days. So with that being said, when you do find somebody that you're serious with, do you include the dad? Do you tell them? Do you say, hey, look, I met someone, I want you to meet them? Or you just kind of like, hey, I met someone and this is what it is, and move on?
I just have not met anyone that I would want to introduce to him either. But when that time came, I would give him the option, because I try to have respect for him, because I know my kids are watching me and him. So I would ask him, do you want to meet him before you meet the boys? And let him decide. And if he says yes, then cool. If not, then
at least giving him that option.
Like that.
So what if, I'm being devil's advocate, what if he was like, I don't like him?
That's fine. You can not like him.
But you still gonna...
Totally fine. Everybody has their opinion. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not gonna let him decide who I can date. I wouldn't do it to him. I probably wouldn't even say anything as long as he treat my kids okay. Like if it was his girl, I wouldn't say anything as long as she respect my kids. How I feel about it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Because I'm not dating.
Especially if it's not something that you know, like she's done or he know that, you know, the guy has done, you know, that's going to put you guys in like danger or, you know, some, you know, crazy stuff. Y'all know how stuff be happening. But it's one of those things like, you know, especially if you're at that level of like you trust or value his opinion in some way. You know what I'm saying? Not that it has to be an be all type thing of what he says, but if he came with some valid, solid information, it's just like, oh, okay, let me look around. Let me look around and kind of see how this is. Let me see if he done let me see any of these, you know, these things that he's
or you know what, even if it came to that point, I probably would have a male friend that I trusted too, just to kind of feel him out, because unfortunately, at the end of the day, you still know in the back of your head how your person is. So it's almost like, I feel you, but I also know you too. Not to say that, you know, the other parent can't change and grow, but you know, it's like, do I really want your opinion? I'm just giving you the courtesy. If you want to meet him, I don't want your thought on him at all.
It definitely depends on his reasoning for why he does it.
If they knew each other, they crossed paths, right? Stuff like that. I remember him. That'd be interesting. That is a very. So, do you have any dating or talking stories that have been like ooh or ooh?
Let's see. I went on a date with a guy. All was going well. We was having good chemistry. We were having good conversation over wine. He had bourbon. I had my one glass of wine. I started noticing that he kept ordering shots of bourbon, double shots of bourbon. was like, okay, all right, maybe he can handle his liquor. I don't know. So we ended at the restaurant. We went to a second place to go play bowling or something like that. And I noticed that he was ordering more double shots of bourbon. I ordered a beer. At some point throughout the night, I went to the bathroom, came back, and my beer was gone. Homeboy drank my beer. I was like, okay, he may have a problem. His behavior started changing too. He was like becoming more friskier. Homeboy tried to kiss me, and it was like first date type thing. Like, no, don't do that. We good. So then a table across from us got up and left, and they left 2 beers on the table. Homeboy went over there and drank their 2 beers.
Oh.
So throughout the night, he had multiple shots of bourbon, my beer, and 2 other random beers left on the table.
Wait.
Yes.
What?
Yes. And then come to find out he was married.
Shut the front door.
No.
Nope. He told me he was married and thought it was fine.
That joker was just over there numbing.
Not that it's a damn, it's not a y'all can found jointly for taxes. It's a
Did he pay for the beers?
Yeah, he paid. He paid for everything.
Did he pay for the other people's beers?
Oh, no. They were just 2 random beers left on the table. No.
That's that. Why? Yeah.
Oh my God.
In the middle of a whole pandemic, he's drinking after random people. I thought that was the most disgusting thing.
Just over there, just numbing his pain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because he in the wrong.
Yeah.
So, you said he was married. Was he
Yes.
like, did you find that out that night?
Yes, he told me later on that night, I guess in his drunken state, because
So were they
we
like,
ended up having to
no, go ahead.
so we ended up having to walk back to his car, and he was stumbling. He almost fell into the street, and we parked kind of right beside each other, not realizing we did it. So I had to walk back. It was an interesting night.
Oh my gosh.
To say the least. That was the most recent hideous date that I went on.
See, stuff like that makes me just be like, I don't want to do it. I'm gonna just.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another little wean out question you gotta throw in there. Are you married? Like you just gotta be like,
Right.
Are you in a relationship?
I didn't think I had to ask
quiz.
that. I just pop quiz.
First date quiz.
Yes. If you
got
get
questions for me?
70.
You got questions for me. I got questions for you. Your questions ain't gonna be as good as mine. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Your questions
I
ain't
gotta
gonna.
see your questions. I have to see your questions.
I got you.
Oh,
Because I be
my
asking them
gosh.
questions like,
Oh my goodness, that's hilarious.
do you get W-2s or 1099s for work?
Right. You thought
Like,
jointly or single? Like, what is it?
Listen, I'm too scared to go to jail. I'm too scared to be caught up. I'm too scary for all of that. Like, I need to know.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm telling.
Telling.
Squealing. You in that interrogation room like
You ain't even got to just
minutes.
come to the house. You get all the information you need. You ain't got to take me to jail because you take me to jail, honey.
I'm taking your mama, your daddy, everybody with me.
You want his social security number, officer?
That is
This is
hilarious.
social.
Toya is not the Bonnie to your Clyde.
Ain't.
She is not the, what is it? Is it Slim?
Oh, your Queen of
Slim.
Yeah.
Is it Queen of Slim?
Your Queen of Slim?
Queen of Slim.
Yeah.
Look, I've never seen that movie,
to
but
your Slim.
You've never seen it?
I think I had a question. Dang, what did you just say when you
I said something about the questions and the quiz. We're gonna take a quiz and then
we talked about the marriage question.
It just
adding that to the list.
Oh, so with that being said, are you public? Do you believe in public? Not believe, Lord. Do you prefer public dating or private dating? Like putting it out there, spotlighting your person, or do you rather keep it hush hush? And I ask that because of the whole, some people be married, some people have other lives. Like, you just never know what can come of it. What are your thoughts on I won't say dating, I will almost say when you're talking to people, to other people.
If we're talking, I don't see the point in posting. No, we're good. Yeah, I'm not going to do that, and don't post me, please. Don't. Yeah. Now for dating, I've never really been big on putting my relationship on social media. I might give you a shout out for your birthday. About it. I've always been very private, so it's not. I've always been very private, so I'm not really into like social media and broadcasting my relationship on social media ever.
Yeah. When you meet someone, are y'all the type of people that like?
I already know what you.
I think I know what you're about to say.
FBI.
I was trying to say,
yes.
Do y'all like find their social media and stuff and kind of look through their posts and kind of see like if y'all have mutual friends and stuff like that?
I do that after I look up their mama name, their aunt name, where they live for the last 10 years, everything, what they graduated with I need to know everything.
Background check.
Amber, tell what you do for a living. What do you do for your occupation?
Yeah. I work in financial crimes. So
you've been looking up all that information.
Yeah, reason why is because a long time ago, before I was in a relationship with my kid's father, I was interested in this guy, and something told me to look him up. This was before I was working for financial crimes, and I just Googled him, and it pulled up his arrest record, and he had like child molestation on his arrest record. Like it was public. So this is why I do my due diligence when I'm dating or thinking about dating someone, because if you got something like that on your record, we don't need to talk.
Right.
You ain't gotta explain yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, I'm the type of person. I like ask around, or I'll go look at your like social media. Like I'm gonna find you on. Listen, I'm gonna find you. I had somebody who like all their stuff was private. I found his high school pictures, like like all his like social media stuff was private. I was like, nope, let me keep scrolling. I was like, oh yeah, that's him. Look, that's him right there in baggy pants on. I was like, that's him right there.
I have not got to that. I don't know. I'm scared.
I think you should do it. And I mean,
I'm nervous
for nothing other than like, if it was, because say like me and Alexis, we have a lot of mutual friends. Some I may not know, but some she may know. So if it's like, say it's somebody on my profile or whatever, or somebody that's friends with her, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna go to somebody that I trust and be like, Alexis, what you know about this person?
Yeah, I can do that part.
Yeah, I'll do, and be like, what you know about this person? If she don't know nothing, like, well, I went to high school with him, or whatever, like I ain't seen him in 10, 15 years, then I'm gonna be like, okay, who else he friends with? Like,
okay. Now, I mean, I guess it will make more sense to do it before you even get anywhere. That would make a lot more sense. Because I'm, just because social media just, people just live different lives.
They really do, but a lot of times, but see, that's the thing. Social media, somebody done tagged you in something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yes. So you can kind of see, like, especially if you were like serious with somebody, like 9 times out of 10, you're gonna see it, because 9 times out of 10, those women gonna be like, you gotta put me on social media.
That's how.
So it's just you gotta find
a whole memory, because that's exactly like just in the previous life of dating in my early 20s. That's how old buddy got found out. Just casually, just tagged, not knowing who a person was.
Exactly.
And I'm just scrolling through.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute, what is that? So we just got a whole person just out there in the wilderness.
Because I mean, if you're like, unless you're like living far, far away, you're gonna have at least you're gonna have a mutual friend on Facebook. Even if you don't know that person at all, you're gonna have a mutual a mutual connection, at least one.
Have to.
Or just call me and I'll find them for you. Only thing I need is one piece of information, guys.
I got you, girl.
Y'all gonna be over there doing background on top of background. I don't blame you, just because look at the times we live in.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Especially for stuff like that. Like, I mean, to each his own, like you date who you want to date, but for me in my house, we're gonna date. we gonna do it. For me in my house, we're gonna do this background check.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, I love it. So what are Lord, I just lost train of thought. Yep.
That mommy brain.
For real. It's been on one today too. Like, oh my God, it really just left me. Oh, so how do you meet people? Do you go out? Do you online? What's a preference at this point in life?
I don't know if it's a preference, but I'm to myself. I don't go out. I have my groceries delivered. Like, I really don't go out. So I have tried online dating. And it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I don't even know what to say.
Because I feel like me and Amber are the same person right now. It's like, I don't really be going out. Like, I try not to go to the grocery store and I get my groceries delivered, or either I just pick up. So it just somebody bring the groceries to my car.
It's so funny because y'all, I was actually going to tag both of y'all in this post, just because the girl was sitting at the house and she kept saying, I want my man, I want my man. And it had this man dressed in all black with a black thing over his face, robbing her. And she goes, "Oh, there go my man." But it was just it was to point out, like, how you gonna get a man but you in the house? You want him to come rob you, and then you gon' and then that's gonna be your man. And look, I felt so convicted, and I was just like, yeah. But then it fast forwarded to, you either can be a social person and go out, or you can do online dating. And in the grand scheme of it, she chose to do online dating. She was just like, I just don't want to go out and meet nobody.
Because I think that's a really good way to meet a lot of people at one time. You know what I'm saying? I used to be swiping, boy. I used to be nope. He ain't me. Nope. Look, I used to look at the pictures, be like,
contemplate, because you can't go back. You can't go back.
Yeah, you can't go back. Right now. Be like, is he cute enough for me to swipe right on him?
Nope. Look at his profile. Let me see.
Yeah, I'd be like, what are you talking about? And if he didn't have if he didn't write no about me, I'd be like, nope. You can't even hold no conversation. Be like, no.
Keep it moving.
I like that I can disengage from it immediately. Like, if I don't want to do online dating anymore, if I want to give it a break, totally disengage from it.
Yeah,
it's like a temporary filler at that point,
right?
But I found that on dating apps, like, people, what is your real name?
Oh my goodness!
Stop giving me these fake names.
I was talking to this guy for a week, and I thought it was his name. He was like, "No, that's my business name that I used to run with my friend back in the day." What?
Why are you putting that? How old are you?
Exactly. What is your problem?
And the guys would tell me that I was crazy for using my real first name. I'm like, no. They're like, well, it's not safe. I'm like, yes, it is, because you don't have my last name. Like,
and what's the point of being on a dating site and you gonna tell me it's not safe?
So now I'm sitting here calling you somebody else, and this ain't even your name. So now I got to get this whole name out of my mind when I know your real name. Like, it's just the stupidest thing. I don't understand. I'm like, how y'all more scary than the women? Like,
why are you
nobody gonna snatch y'all up,
people are like that'll make me skeptical. Like, what are your true intentions at this point?
But you got like everybody like almost everybody on there had, like all the dudes on there had a fake name. Like I think every guy that I talked to that was not their name. It was either their middle name or a name that somebody called them or something.
Or nickname. Okay, yep.
Bro.
So to me, that means you're not being truthful to begin with.
Yes. And then they would never tell the truth about their age. I'm like, y'all, why are y'all being like females?
We have the same experiences.
Stupid. That is saying.
Like, sir, you're wasting my time.
That'll make me delete the whole app just because.
I have.
Like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
You have to. So with those, is it like that for the ones that you really pay like top dollars for, or are those like the basic?
Well, I never paid top dollar because I wasn't that invested in finding nobody.
That makes sense. Makes a lot.
But then I was like, maybe I should pay, and then maybe like these are like
because it'll wean out.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna take that. Because my friend, she tried eHarmony and paid, and actually met someone. Come to find out, he had to come back and say, that's not my real name. That's not how old I am.
I do not understand it as a man.
One of those.
As a man, like, what are you afraid of, sir?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's just
like we take all the risks.
We should be the one that's lying about our name.
Yeah. Right. No, because if we ever meet up and go on a date, like I have to take my gun with me. Honestly, because I'm the one that could be hurt or get next step or kidnapped. Yeah. So I come prepared for anything.
That makes me scary because I'm like, why would you lie? What are you about to do? Like, what? I will have so many questions at that point.
Yeah. It's so weird,
especially when you took the time to create a profile and get on
the whole profile.
It's not like we out at a bar somewhere and you just trying to, I don't really want her to boom, but you took time out. You invested in doing this, so, and you lied.
Yeah.
All right. No,
I understand. It was so annoying. I'm like, man, what joke? Like, why? Like, I just can't get that out of my head. Like, why? What are you lying about? Like, why is that? Like, why are you starting this off with a lie?
Exactly.
Have you learned from some of your experiences, like what you would do differently, or what would you try next time? Like, even like down to like, I don't know, do people pick people up anymore, or do people meet up, or do they be like, oh, I'm gonna pick you up from your house?
No, that ain't safe.
Like, just certain things, like, I don't know, it's an old-fashioned thinking.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want no one to come to my home that I have not.
Not first date.
Now that I have kids, absolutely never. Yes. Nope.
Like,
you cannot know where I live.
That's a hard. See, those are the things that you kind of be weary on, like when they start asking like what area you live in, where you originally from. Like, I had to start being in tune, like, why are you asking certain questions like that?
I do lie about that. Like, if they ask me what area I'm in, I say something completely left field.
Yeah.
But I don't want you to know what area.
But I mean, I think that's a safety thing. Like, for a woman, I think that's only right for you to tell somebody that you live, you don't live in the actual area that you live. Because I mean, that's just safety on our, us being safe as a woman.
Yeah. It is.
But now if he tell me he lives somewhere completely different, I'll be like, y'all just like, sir, what are you scared of?
That you gonna pop up.
I'm like, nah.
Y'all, I was this is so off subject. Well, it's not off subject, but old girl had met some boy. I think she said it was a Tinder app, and he told her to come through. Y'all should have seen. I ain't trying to talk about nobody. But the way she was set up. So she went to his house. She said his boys was out there or whatever, and she got out the car and she I don't know how she described herself. Like, you know what I mean? It's a dating app. She probably catfished him. And he came out and he was like, he met her, like, wait a minute, oh shoot, our boys is here. Met her halfway, like, hey, meet me up the street.
Oh.
So she got back in the car and I think they met up at the park. And he kept driving. He kept going. So she already know where you live. So she circled back around, like, why you just leave me hanging? And his boys was like, oh, we don't know who you're talking about. He don't live here. Like,
so they
we don't even know who that
that
person is. So apparently I'm wondering if she catfished him. But see, though, I guess that's one of the things they be worried about. Like, wait,
but
do you really look like what you look like?
He probably catfished her and she catfished him. That probably wasn't his real name. So when she went back, she asked him for somebody. They was like, he don't live here because it wasn't his name.
So what if you had an experience like that? You agreed to meet somebody, y'all meet up at the spot, and they busted. What do you do?
I have FaceTime you first. I have to make sure you're real.
Okay, so you do a FaceTime check.
I learned that the hard way.
You learned that the hard way?
Well, because a lot of those times on the apps, I think you can call through the app. So like you can video call if you don't want to give somebody your number. Yeah, you can call. But I mean, we've been talking, and y'all know, well, I don't give my number out to a lot of people. So if it's like somebody that I feel, that's
so Toya, I'm assuming you would never do a blind date.
Lexus, we've had this conversation. I would do a blind date if like somebody like you or Kristen, if like my friends was like, Toya, I think this guy would be really good for you. No, I don't know if I was to do it then. Cause y'all would try to set me up with somebody light skinned.
Just to be funny. Just be funny. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I would be very facetious. Like,
no, I don't think y'all would. But I think y'all, if I would trust like my friends, like the people that I call my friends, like I would trust them enough to be like, okay.
Amber, do you trust being set up on a blind date?
I feel like it depends on who it is. I feel like you would probably set me up with the right person because you kind of know what guys are like. It depends on the person. Like if it's like my sister, I don't know.
I wouldn't go with my sister set up either.
It depends on who it is.
Yeah.
I'm like skeptical of blind dates anyway. I mean, that's awkward.
Yeah, I would have to ask some questions. I don't know if it would be a complete blind date. Like I would, like, what's his name? What do you do for a living?
So what if a friend said, "Hey, I got somebody," and introduce y'all that way, not necessarily like meet first, but just like exchange information? Would you be on board with something like that?
Like somebody like you giving them like a phone number?
When I wouldn't even or say social media.
Social media? Yeah, I would. Yeah, I can do that.
Like give you like a rundown, like, hey, this is who this. What if you didn't click with them? What would you do? Like, what do you say to the friend?
Are you talking to me or are you talking to our guest? You talking to our guest? Alexis, you know me. Amber, what would you do?
Like, friend, it didn't work out. Don't do that again. Don't set me up again. We good on that.
Yeah,
that's what I was saying.
Yeah,
I don't mind. I don't know. I might just start ignoring people.
Yeah,
I can ignore good.
I'm really good at cutting off and ignoring. I have no problem doing that.
Yeah, I can to an extent.
Especially if you don't have because if you do have my phone number, I'll be not responding.
I block it so quick. I block it.
God blocked it.
Yeah.
But that's why I don't give a lot of people. Yeah, that's why I don't give out my number to a lot of people, because
that's a scary one. What that I don't know what it's called. They have apps where you can, what's it called? WhatsApp, where you don't have to have the person's phone number. You can do it that way.
Yeah. I'd be like, here's my social media.
That's the easiest way right there.
I don't even do that.
Yeah.
I don't
You don't do that?
I don't know.
Nope.
That right there,
we have to be talking
about,
for a while before I give you my social media.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'd rather you
I
have
guess if
my kids are ordering
my number.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay, that makes sense.
What'd you say?
Her kids are on it.
My kids are on my social media, so I don't give that out.
Yeah, especially if you really don't know what they're like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because people do be looking at your children.
For sure. Looking at everything. That's why I don't post that much on my social. Well, that ain't why. I mean, my page is not private. I don't post that much because I just be too lazy and don't be feeling like posting nothing.
Yeah, I have time. Yeah.
I be like, I ain't getting paid to post on this app.
I'd rather it be more like, I don't know. I mean, it's like we're in a time now where you want just a organic feel, but at the same time, you want to be able to get through all these rough questions first. Because again, I personally feel like things have just changed so much within the last 10 years of how people do stuff. Like, there's no real cordial courting, dating, whatever, pursuing. As I'm hearing more people talk about, like, what is going on here? Like, it's scary to even think about, oh my God, if I put myself out here, are you going to reciprocate it? And if you reciprocate it, are you going to respect it? Or are we going to have to fight? Like, what we doing? And I don't know. I feel like the boundaries with the way dating is gone is just, it's very muddy.
It really is.
It is. It is scary to put yourself out there. 100%.
It is. It is.
I don't know.
I mean, because people know, some people don't have a problem with like being out there. But I don't know, maybe I might be single forever just because of that thought process, because I'm like, this is like, and I pray that I'm not, but it's just one of those things, like, it's so scary, like, you know, it's really like one of those scary things, like, because you hear so many stories of like people going on dates, you know, they've met people, this and the other, and stuff happens.
I mean, you have to think, like,
you really do.
I mean, maybe it's just me, but I literally just be thinking, like, like your hygiene for one. Like, I think about, do you brush your teeth? Are you well made? Like, do you have bad morning breath? Do you, like, your upkeep, like body preferences? Like, I think about all that stuff, like, and it'd be little nagging things that I'm like, can I get past? And that's a scary thought, to think you got to do this with a person. So it's like, God, just the next one, just let that be it, please.
Yeah, like, you don't want to
do it all over again.
All over again.
Like,
seriously, like what you were saying, like seeing them in all seasons. Unfortunately, I manifested that in a way where I didn't realize what I was doing, because I was like, God, make it hard now so I would know how this person reacts. But I wasn't like very detailed with it, which you have to be. But it's like, okay, God, I do want to see how they are dealing with their anger, with their sadness, with their just in all aspects of things. Because again, you have to learn it, you have to adapt it, and you have to say, can I do this? Can they accept me when I'm having PMS, when I'm on my cycle? Like, can they do certain things like that? Or, you know, you have to go through all of that. And that's hard if you're doing it with multiple people.
Yeah.
I ain't built for that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not.
It's a lot.
Because I was thinking like you the other day. I was like, God, maybe I'm just gonna be single, because the more I think about it, the more I'm like, no. And y'all
just want to have friends and
good.
like go places and stuff like that. Because it just be like, I don't know. God, I don't know.
No. Because I want, look, I don't mean no harm, and this is not me trying to toot my own horn, but you got to look like something to stand beside me. Like, y'all.
No, seriously.
Can you compliment me? Can I compliment you?
Yeah.
Right.
Are we going to look good together?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Are we gonna shake the room together, or I'm gonna have to leave you in the car? Cause
in the trunk. Ain't nobody see you through the window.
Ain't nobody see. my windows is tint for a reason, just for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's what scares me. I'm like so comfortable being single that when I meet someone and that I really don't really care for, it's easy for me to just keep it moving because I'm happy. Like I'm happy on a Friday night chilling, watching Netflix or whatever. So to get me out of that comfort zone, you would have to be something special.
Yes, like you would have to be very pursuing. Like don't just do that. Hey, what you doing? Hey, what's your plans? Not because if you do that, I'm like, all right, you know what? Never mind. I'm watching TV.
I'm already asleep, child.
I'm gone.
I'm already in the bed.
He done lost me in the conversation. Like that. Like that's the stuff that I feel like I'm like, are you asking too much when you do that? Like, what are you doing? What? Just playing something. Make me get up. Like, and
make
get
me
ready.
Want to leave my house.
Yeah, that filler stuff. Where I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm gonna sit at the house. Well, Amber, do you want to leave us with any tokens or knowledge or whatever, or as a single mom dating with 2 boys and dipping your toe out there? She's stepping out on the water. She said it. I thought about this. She stepped out on the water.
It was with my pinky toe too. It wasn't the big toe. It wasn't the big toe. It was the pinky toe.
How many toes you got out there now?
Maybe 3.
You got about 3?
3 out of the 10.
Are we leading?
And they're the smallest.
Are we leading with the pinky first?
We leading with the pinky, little baby pinky.
She ain't got the big one out there.
Oh no, the big toes ain't get in there yet.
All right, I don't know. It's kind of different because your interview was just more like just free flowing as far as just dating versus So I mean,
I guess if anybody that's a single mom that wants advice, I guess I would just say take it slow, take it easy. Don't feel like you have to rush, and make sure you're fully healed before you step back out there if you're serious about dating. That would be my only advice.
Healing. Is what I'm gathering from this.
Yes,
absolutely. That's very important.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Amber.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, guys, that is the end of this episode. We thank you for tuning in. Let us know in the comments on our Instagram or wherever you can leave comments at. y'all know how I'll be ending this episode. Look, we're on YouTube. We're on YouTube at the I'm Just Me page, EYMJUSME. We're on Instagram on our Real Talk podcast. That's REALTLK podcast. Email us if you have any topic ideas. Real Talk podcast, I think, at gmail.com. If you go to Instagram, or if you go to YouTube, you'll see the email there. Let us know what you think about this episode. Hey, if you're single and dating, let us know some tips that you're taking, some questions that you ask on these dates, and let's have a conversation about it. Well, if all hearts and minds are clear, y'all have a good one. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of Real Talk with Toya, Lex, and Chris. We'll talk to you soon.